Genesis, chapters 40 through 44. Chapter 40. If you enjoy these readings, please subscribe. Verse 1. Chapter 40, verse 1. And it came to pass after these things, that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord the king of Egypt. Verse 2. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers, and against the chief of the bakers, and against the chief of the bakers. Verse 3. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. Verse 4. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in ward. Verse 5. And they dreamed a dream both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. Verse 6. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them, and, behold, they were sad. Verse 7. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? Verse 8. And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you. Verse 10. And in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. Verse 11. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Verse 12. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Verse 13. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee unto thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner when thou wast his butler. Verse 14. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and shew kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. Verse 15. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. Verse 16. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. Verse 17. And in the uppermost basket there was of all manner of bakemeats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. Verse 18. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Verse 19. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. Verse 20. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. Verse 21. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Verse 22. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Verse 23. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgat him. Chapter 41. Verse 1. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years, that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. Verse 2. And, behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat fleshesed, and they fed in a meadow. Verse 3. And, behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. Verse 4. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke. Verse 5. And he slept and dreamed the 2nd time, and, behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. Verse 6. And, behold, 7 thin ears and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. Verse 7. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. Verse 8. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt, and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Verse 9. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Verse 10. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. Verse 11. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. Verse 12. And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream he did interpret. Verse 13. And it came to pass as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Verse 14. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. Verse 15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it, and I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. Verse 16. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. Verse 17. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river. Verse 18. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. Verse 19. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. Verse 20. And the lean and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. Verse 21. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I awoke. Verse 22. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good. Verse 23. And behold, 7 ears, withered, thin, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. Verse 24. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears, and I told this unto the magicians. But there was none that could declare it to me. Verse 25. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. God hath shewed Pharaoh what he is about to do. Verse 26. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. Verse 27. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. Verse 28. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do sheweth unto Pharaoh. Verse 29. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 30. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. Verse 31. And the plenty shall consume the land. Verse 30. Reeve. Verse 32. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Verse 33. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Verse 34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. Verse 35. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. Verse 36. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. Verse 37. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. Verse 38. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? Verse 39. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Forasmuch as God hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Verse 40. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. Verse 41. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. Verse 42. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. Verse 43. And he made him to ride in the 2nd chariot which he had, and they cried before him, Bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. Verse 44. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. Verse 45. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paaneah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. Verse 46. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 47. And in the 7 plenteous years the earth brought forth by handfuls. Verse 48. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years, which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities, the food of the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the same. Verse 49. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number. Verse 50. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath the daughter of Potiphar priest of On bare unto him. Verse 51. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, He hath made me forget all my toil, and all my father's house. Verse 52. And the name of the second called he Ephraim. For God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. Verse 53. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended. Verse 54. And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. Verse 55. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what he saith to you, do. Verse 56. And the famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. Verse 57. And all countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands. Chapter 42, verse 1. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, Why do ye look one upon another? Verse 2. And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. Verse 3. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. Verse 4. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother Jacob, sent not with his brethren, for he said, Lest peradventure befall him. Verse 5. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. Verse 6. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came, and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. Verse 7. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. Verse 8. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. Verse 9. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. Verse 10. And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. Verse 11. We are all one man's sons, we are true men, thy servants are no spies. Verse 12. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. Verse 13. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. Verse 14. And Joseph said unto them, That is it that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Verse 15. Here shall be proved, by the life of Pharaoh, ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Verse 16. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh surely ye are spies. Verse 17. And he put them all together into ward 3 days. Verse 18. And Joseph said unto them the 3rd day, This do and live, for I fear God, this do and live. Verse 19. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses. Verse 20. But bring your youngest brother unto me. So shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. Verse 21. And they said one to another, We are verily guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul, when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. Verse 22. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not hear, therefore, behold, also his blood is required. Verse 23. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. Verse 24. And he turned himself about from them, and wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them, and bound him before their eyes. Verse 25. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way, and thus did he unto them. Verse 26. And they laded their asses with the corn, and departed thence. Verse 27. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money, for behold, it was in his sack's mouth. Verse 28. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored. And lo, it is even in my sack, and their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, What is this that God hath done unto us? Verse 29. And they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, Verse 30. The man, who is the Lord of the land, spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. Verse 31. And we said unto him, We are true men, we are no spies. Verse 32. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. Verse 33. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. Verse 34. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. Verse 35. And it came to pass as they emptied their sacks that, behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack, and when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. Verse 36. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not, and ye will take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. Verse 37. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, Slay my 2 sons. If I bring him not to thee, deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again. Verse 38. And he said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in the which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Chapter 43. Verse 1. And the famine was sore in the land. Verse 2. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food. Verse 3. And Judah spake unto him, saying, The man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face except your brother be with you. Verse 4. If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. Verse 5. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down, for the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. Verse 6. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother? Verse 7. And they said, The man asked us straitly of our state and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words, could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother down. Verse 8. And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die. Verse 9. I will be surety for him, of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. Verse 10. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. Verse 11. And their father Israel said unto them, If it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds. Verse 12. And take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hand. Peradventure it was an oversight. Verse 13. take also your brother, and arise, go again unto the man. Verse 14. And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. Verse 15. And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hand in Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt, and stood before Joseph. Verse 16. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, Bring these men home, and slay, and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. Verse 17. And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. Verse 18. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house, and they said, Because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us, and fall upon us, and take us for bondmen and our asses. Verse 19. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house. Verse 20. And said, O sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. Verse 21. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and, behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand. Verse 22. And other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. Verse 23. And he said, Peace be to you. Fear not, your God, and the God of your father, hath given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them. Verse 24. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house, and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender. Verse 25. And they made ready the present against Joseph came at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread. Verse 26. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. Verse 27. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, Is your father well, the old man of whom ye spake? Is he yet alive? Verse 28. And they answered, Thy servant our father is in good health, he is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads, and made obeisance. Verse 29. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your younger brother of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. Verse 30. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep, and he entered into his chamber, and wept there. Verse 31. And he washed his face, and went out, and refrained himself, and said, Set on bread, and refrained himself, and said, Verse 32. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians, which did eat with him, by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews. For that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Verse 33. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth, and the men marveled one at another. Verse 34. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him, but Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs, and they drank, and were merry with him. Chapter 44. Verse 1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, Fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth. Verse 2. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. Verse 3. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. Verse 4. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the men. And when thou dost overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have you rewarded evil for good? Verse 5. Is not this it in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth ye have done evil in so doing? Verse 6. And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. Verse 7. And they said unto him, Wherefore saith my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servants should do according to this thing. Verse 8. Behold, the money, which we found in our sacks' mouths, we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold? Verse 9. With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we also will be my Lord's bondmen. Verse 10. And he said, Now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. Verse 11. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. Verse 12. And he searched, and began at the eldest, and left at the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Verse 13. Then they rent their clothes, and laded every man his ass, and returned to the city. Verse 14. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they fell before him on the ground. Verse 15. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? Verse 16. And Judah said, What shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? God hath found out the iniquity of thy servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he also with whom the cup is found. Verse 17. And he said, God forbid that I should do so, but the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant, and as for you, get you up in peace unto your father. Verse 18. Then Judah came near unto him, and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ears, and let not thine anger burn against thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh. Verse 19. My Lord asked his servants, saying, Have ye a father or a brother? Verse 20. And we said unto my Lord, We have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one. And his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him. Verse 21. And thou saidst unto thy servants, Bring him down unto me, that I may set mine eyes upon him. Verse 22. And we said unto my Lord, The lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die. Verse 23. And thou saidst unto thy servants, Except your youngest brother come down with you, ye shall see my face no more. Verse 24. And it came to pass when we came up unto thy servant, my father, we told him the words of my Lord. Verse 25. And our father said, Go again, and buy us a little food. Verse 26. And we said, We cannot go down. If our youngest brother be with us, then will we go down, for we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with us. Verse 27. And thy servant, my father, said unto us, Ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons. Verse 28. And the one went out from me, and I said, Surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since. Verse 29. And if you take this also from me, and mischief befall him, ye shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Verse 30. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life. Verse 31. It shall come to pass, when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die, and thy servants shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant our father with sorrow to the grave. Verse 32. For thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Verse 33. Now therefore, I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad a bondman to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brethren. Verse 34. For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me? Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father.